Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all our dear viewers and our esteemed guest. Myself, Joya Khan, Ambassador of Change from Getty, and your host for this live session. Holding the beacon of success, I bring greetings from the entire Getty fraternity as we usher in winds of change with a little video which will not only give you a glimpse about our organization, that is Global Education and Training Institute, but also present our constant endeavors and humble initiatives to sum up what Getty is all about. So here's the video, my dear viewers. I hope we were able to give you a sneak peek into the Getty world and what it believes in. That is the power of change. On this live forum, dear viewers, we invite bureaucrats, policymakers, motivational speakers, and educational speakers from all around the globe as agents of positive change. So, steering this session ahead, I warmly welcome our esteemed speaker this afternoon, Ms Shilpa Kulshrestha. She's a game changer coach and is joining us all the way from Australia, and she'll be sharing her views on the topic self belief. Ms Shilpa is a multi awardee game changing career coach, a TEDx speaker, best selling author of Play It Full, and founder of Scintillant Coaching. She has been featured on Forbes, TEDx, Fox, CNN, and has been the recipient of several global awards, including Changemaker of the Year 2022. She's a Women and Entrepreneur of the Year and Indian Achievers Award winner 2021. The list, my dear viewers, about Ms. Shilpa goes on and on, but without wasting much time, I would like to hand over the show to you to help her condense her views on self belief. So, a very warm welcome, Ms. Shilpa. Over to you.
Thank you, Zoya. Thank you so much for your warm words. And to Getty, it's my pleasure to be here and to be able to share what I do in my day-to-day life as a game changer coach. So the topic for today is self-belief, the magic that your the right belief can do in your life. So, how to get that belief system right and to be in the top 1%. And for this session, I will focus more on the corporate professionals because that's the area where I work on. However, I want you to really see that if it matters so much later in life, how important it is for us to focus on that in our current system of education. Self belief, that's the seed to everything that we create in life. So we'll keep it very simple from it's not working. No matter where you are, whether you are a student, you are a mid career professional, you are very early in your career, you are a housewife, you are at a point where things are not working. A particular area is not working. From there, I want you to know that walk out from the session saying that I didn't realize that it would be so easy. I didn't realize that this should be my focus. So, who here has a problem that seems insurmountable? It seems hopeless. It seems that you never be able to get out of it. It happens with all of us at some point in our life or other. One area just gets sore, or it is not working as much as we would want it to be. But if you see, we have resolved some pretty difficult problems in the past. So, for let's say in our student life, we worked on things. We had some pretty difficult subjects which we didn't like, we hated, but we still did well in that. We still at least got an average. We passed, right? For those of you who are parents, we didn't know anything about parenting. We didn't know anything about kids till the time kids just came into our lap, and we did a pretty good job of learning as we go. So you have resolved some pretty big problems in the past. So the current situation, I would say, it's not any different, right? So it is possible that the problem is somewhere else and you are focusing at something different. Now, let me take you to this time in September 2018. 28th September 2018, I was standing on this road in front of my house. Right in front of my house, there's a bus stop, and a bus would carry me right from in front of my office to my house. And there's a 50-meter road in between that I had to cross. That day in September 2018, I got down from the bus as usual and I started crossing the road to get to my house on the other side. Just couldn't walk. My feet, they froze. They refused to move. And as the vehicles on the road, they moved from left to right, from right to left, the headlights, they seemed to mock me in my face. It seemed as if the entire world had put a spotlight on me, and I felt like a pawn. I felt powerless. I felt embarrassed. I just didn't know what to do. It felt that there was nothing good about me. 2 decades from that date, I had started my career as a high flyer, as a school topper. So I had done everything that the education system wanted me to do. I was a school topper, a gold medalist, a national level ranker. So it started off pretty well. I thought with 4 professional degrees to my credit and pretty good ones. I was a CA, CPA, Um, I had done law and I had done MBA. I was set out for success. However, in fact, okay, I'll go back to that. It started off well. I wouldn't lie. It started off well, and I was working with a startup. I remember the ease with which I would carry myself from meeting room to another meeting room, taking all the decisions, taking risks, and I soon came to be known as someone with a Midas touch. Anything that I touched, client, project, delivery, it turned into gold. And I was basking in the glory of it all. Who doesn't like it? Years passed. And as the priorities of life started showing up, I started seeing a change. With especially with women, it happens. You get married, you get pregnant, and then you have kids, and then you have so many things in the world to do. And somewhere in the journey of life, I started doing my bare minimum at work. I'll go to office 9 to 5. I'll do what all was expected. I was a very committed person, but that's it. In all these years, somewhere they happened a conflict between me and my between my career and my family. I always felt that if I focus too much on my career, then somewhere my family would be impacted. And as a result, unconsciously, I kept my career in the backseat. In those days, people were, I mean, corporate workplaces, they were shouting a lot for work life balance. And I thought it was my right too, because I was a wife, I was a mother, I had a family, I should also have work life balance. And I didn't realize that that monster, that monster of work life balance, in all these years, when I kept getting more and more attracted towards it, what I fed it was my own excellence. I would have never realized it until that day when I was standing on the road in front of my house. That day, my position had become redundant and I was asked by my manager to leave. My company had enough of my non glamorous contribution. And this one was a huge smack on my face. All these years, I stayed in the illusion that I was still that outstanding school topper, national level ranker, gold medalist. But the fact was that I had stopped being one years back, but I didn't realize it. So at that point, I had two choices. One, to take all that money because I had worked with my company, Westpac, for 9 years. I got this big chunk of money for me to leave them in peace. And the easiest task was to get that chunk of money and go and pick up another job. It's a very common thing, especially in the West. But the difficult path was to actually figure out what happened, what went wrong. And I chose the difficult part. For the first time in my life, I chose the difficult path. Until then, it was always what is the shortest route I'll pick up. This time, I really wanted to know what happened. What happened? Somebody who did extremely well in the education system. Where did I slip? How did I become part of the average game? And I packed my bags, landed myself at Fiji, Tony Robbins Island. Tony Robbins, who is the biggest strategy guru and one of the world's top coaches. I started my journey of self-discovery. I started asking myself difficult questions. What do I believe I am capable for? And honestly, at that point, I had no answer. Even after 2 decades of my corporate career, I had no idea about what is it that I was great at. What is it, if given a choice, I would love to do? Because one thing was very clear, I was definitely not doing the work that I was doing very well. I was probably not cut out for it. But then what? What else do I do? I don't know if you guys have faced it at a point when you know you have to choose, but you're totally at a loss of what to choose. So I started looking back at my life and realized that in my entire career, what I loved was not the systems, not the processes, not the technology, but people. I loved seeing people grow. And as I looked deeper into my life, I realized that it was not a thing that has come over the last few years, right from the day when I was in school, when I was a student in year 10, year 11, year 12. I would have my classmates coming to my home, and I would sit in my backyard teaching them what all I knew. I loved giving to the people, and I had no jealousy, no insecurity. What if they did better than me? I actually loved it. That gave me goosebumps. And it continued later in my career where people would come to my teams, and I, over a period of 3, 5, 7 years, I would commit myself to enable them to grow. And when they did better than me, that feeling I can't even explain to you. So I pulled out that small portion of my, it was not even 1% of what I had done in my entire career, but I pulled out that 1% and I started working on it. Initially, I thought I got lucky, but then I realized as I work with more and more people that there's something that I'm doing right. And that brought me to a framework where I started working with people across the globe, with people in 15 countries. So this is what happened. 2019, I was a project manager, successful project manager, or so I thought, whatever illusion I had. A good mom. I was always a good mom, a happy wife. But when I got my belief system right, when I actually got rid of that average game, then this is what became possible. I became a number one best-selling author, a TEDx speaker, got featured in Forbes, Fox, CNN, Outlook, and got several awards: Changemaker of the Year, Woman Entrepreneur of the Year, got the Indian Achievers Award for outstanding contribution to Indians across the globe. And I started calling myself a game changer coach. And this is the fun part. Until that point, you know how we have been conditioned since childhood that good things take time, and I realized actually good things don't take time. It is just a matter of working on your belief system. It's a matter of deciding what is it that you want, and you can change the game just like this. And I started changing the game of people who were ready to get rid of whatever past they had, no matter what point of life, whether they have done well in their career, whether they have totally screwed it up, whatever wherever they were, from there to enable them to get to the results that they had dreamt for in their life. Make that a reality. Because a lot of people dream, but they never actually get to shake hands with them. I started holding their hands to lead them there, and in the journey became a much more prouder mom and a much happier wife. I emphasize this point because all my life I felt that if I spend too much time on my career, my family will get impacted. But no, that was a wrong belief that was implanted inside me by the society, by my family, by my parents, or whatever I had seen, whatever I had absorbed growing up, with 100 times more energy, because now I was flourishing. Earlier, I was just a mediocre and then founder of a business, $1 million business. And then this one I really want to say, because another belief that I had was that I am an introvert. So I was always sitting in a corner of a company. My companies changed, projects changed, managers changed, but I was still the loner sitting in one corner because I told myself that I'm an introvert. I can't speak. I can't connect with people. I can't express my thoughts freely. But when I killed that belief and I replaced it with a powerful expression, I started speaking in forums. I started speaking on radio, television. I went to the TEDx stage. My this mission of murdering mediocrity by getting your belief system right. It reached the TEDx stage. You can Google my name, Shilpa Kulshrestha TEDx, and you'll see murdering mediocrity, which is about getting, letting go of any past that you have and stepping into your best game. I realized that um, I don't need to be the best speaker in the country or the town or the city. No, I just needed to speak my heart. And when I started doing it, I got this powerful expression where I was able to not only say what I wanted, but actually change lives. And then I got an opportunity to be with Stedman, Oprah Winfrey's partner, and walk the stage. I got opportunity to get glamorous because I coached Miss India Australia contestants. So different areas of life, but I got an opportunity to enable people to get their belief system right so that they can create the wins that they wanted. And this is a book that I have written with my partner, Played Full, which talks about the triangle of life. So in your life, Consider it like a triangle. One side of the triangle, it's your achievements. It's your achievements. What is your role? What is your designation? How much money you make? What wins you have? And on the other arm of the triangle, it's your relationships. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your family, um, and your personal, your professional relationships. And on the third side of the third arm of the triangle, it's your health, your mental, physical, emotional health. If your belief system is not right, somewhere, at least one, even if one arm of the triangle collapses, the entire triangle will collapse. So it is really important to get a strong belief system as the base for that triangle to stand upright and to become bigger, 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 and better. That's what this book talks about. So another thing that I want to share is, when we start our careers, um, we dedicate ourselves to that. We feel, this is the only thing we want to do well. We want to win against all odds. We want to get promoted, and this continues for a number of years. At a point, we realize that we have not taken care of our relationships. So we go back. We start calling our parents more. We start spending time with the family. And as we hold their hand to come back to where we were in our career, we realize that we cannot walk swiftly, we cannot run, we are huffing, we are puffing, because in the journey somewhere we have ignored our health. So it is really important for us to understand that the three arms of the triangle, the achievements, the relationships, and the health, they all have to go together. And the basis for that is the belief system that we have in life. And it is not just me, because I know you might say, "Oh, Shilpa, you're amazing," or "You got help at the right moment," or "Somehow you got lucky." And I've put down these case studies to tell you that it is not just me. There are so many other people. So I have hidden the names here because most of the people that I work with are senior leaders, CXOs, people in executive leadership. But I just want you to see what was possible for them. So somebody got a 113% increase in salary when the rest of the world was losing the job. There were job cuts, job market was not doing well. He got a 113% increase in salary during the COVID months. Another person, she made a career transition in a completely different area with 100% more money. Somebody got from a director level to a VP level with an enormous increase in the money. And then somebody who was stuck at the same level for 5 years because of the limiting beliefs he had allowed to get into his system, he was able to get rid of it and get promoted in just 6 weeks at 30% more salary. And when he got promoted, it was an out of turn promotion. So when you actually murder your mediocrity and you step into your best form, into your best beliefs, you don't even know what is possible. This person, he called himself a mediocre, and when he got that out of the turn promotion, because we usually believe that promotion cycle is not yet come, it will come next year. But you know what, those people who have been on the other side, who are watching this, that we do out of turn promotions as well. So you don't have to really wait. Get your beliefs right, because you can get promoted anytime. He got a 30% more salary in just 6 weeks. And there are numerous other examples. I would go to the last one, where this lady, uh, she was a cancer survivor, a divorcee. She had was making zero money for 3 years because she had gone through this huge setback in her life, and she was at a breakdown point. And from there, when she said, okay, she gathered herself up, and she said, she saw that I'm capable of doing something bigger and better. In just 5 months, she was able to get a head of HR position with a salary of 36 lakhs a year. And that was just the beginning. And I just talked to her 2 weeks back. She's doing amazing. She's amazing woman. So sometimes life pushes us to a point, and it does impact, because we start doubting ourselves, we start second guessing ourselves. But if you can actually get back to your power zone. People call it different names, courage, confidence, whatever, and I'll come to it. But if you can get into your pull yourself from that, get into your power zone. Belief is the basis of everything that I'm showing on this screen here. Each of those cases, by getting it right, they were able to create results which they themselves didn't imagine. And you might say, so it is only about money, Shilpa, then? I would say, no, it is not always about money. And I know I've put in big figures because this is what these people created. I've seen them witness their journey, held their hand. But you know what? I've put those figures because these are the only measurable outcomes. If I tell you this person became super successful, what does it mean? You can't really bluff yourself without a measurable outcome. When a person gets 30% increase in salary or gets a certain figure, they know they have done well or not done well. So that's why it is really important to talk about a measurable outcome like money. But how about these? If you're like me, I love to make a lot of money, but I'm not a materialistic person. I hardly touch it. My wants are very limited. So how about these? Feeling personally invested in the company that you work for. So every time when I entered that 32-floor building of Westpac at Brangru, I felt really small. I felt that I didn't belong there. I felt that I was all alone. My beliefs were playing havoc in my life. How different would have been my game if I had felt personally invested in that company. If I felt it was my company and I'm working for myself. I couldn't change it. I can't go back in time, but you can today. Whatever stage of life, if you feel personally invested in whatever you have picked up, having a strategy to create your own economy. Again, whichever stage of life you are on, it is never too late to start creating your own economy. It is about having multiple sources of income. This is what I mean. AI, technology, you don't know how the job market will be tomorrow. To make sure that you have the right things set up in in your life, you should have multiple sources of income. Don't rely only on salary. For 2 decades salary was my only source of income, but today I know better, and that's what I teach all these people. And I'll talk about a case study later in detail. Some of these case studies I'll tell, so that you know what I mean by it. Becoming the CEO of your career. The reason I was asked to leave from my company was because somewhere in the journey of life, I had got up from that driver's seat and I had gone to sit in my passenger seat. I'd given the control to my company. Take me, get me promoted, get me salary increase. You know what? Our life is our responsibility. Your company will not do it for you, your bosses will not do it for you. You have to be the CEO of your career. You have to take charge. When I got the charge back, everything started shifting. And that's what happened in the life of each of those people that I talked about. Significant increase in respect, regard, and reward at work. It often happens that we feel that the returns that we are getting from our company, it is not proportionate to the number of hours that we are putting in. And that means that there's scope for some change. Sense of belonging and abundance at work. So the best way to describe it, I'm a big Shah Rukh Khan fan. I know some of you hate him because you say that he does overacting. I love that overacting. So I want you to think about it, visualize it in Shah Rukh Khan style. He stands with his arms open and he just, that Shah Rukh Khan pose. That sense of belonging and abundance you get in that act, owning every inch of the ground that you are standing on. What if that was possible? What if you could get that feeling about the work that you are doing? Your game will change, isn't it? And from suck it up to a powerful expression. Again, how many of you are introverts? I don't know. But I have been there. I sucked up a lot of things in my life. I have not expressed myself. I have not spoken in groups. I have kept the things to myself because somehow telling myself that I'm right. I don't need to tell to the people. But from sucking it up to having a powerful expression, that can create wonders in your life. So, what is it different about them that you too can adopt in your life? The real deal is this: their new belief system. I keep talking, I keep bringing back everything to this. Having the new improved belief system, it changed everything. It is about who you are, basically. Very simple, but completely misunderstood. So you are not your likes and dislike. You say, this is my habit. I'm usually, usually very sad, or I am frustrated, or somewhere there's anger inside. You're not your emotions. You're not your moods and habits. You're not what you did in the past. It doesn't matter any longer. It is about today. You're not what other people perceive about you. It impacts you, but you're definitely not that. So it's your responsibility to get that perception right. And you would have met those people who say, you know what, I'm like that, keep away. They put a hand in front of you saying that, I'm like that, keep away from me. None of these. You're none of these. These are your chains. So remember that story of that baby elephant? I wish I could see the chat in this, but it's fine. I will continue. So remember that story of a baby elephant? When it was a baby, it was tied with chains to a very thin pole. And even when it grew up, it couldn't break those chains, because that belief was deeply set in his mind that these chains, he can never break them. These chains are there forever, and he'll always be a slave to those chains. He could have come out of it in a jiffy. Couldn't do that. That's how we human beings are. We are tied to certain things. And I'll talk about what things. We are tied to certain things and we feel it is part of us, but it's not. It's just a jolt away, right? So, what are you that needs rediscovery? What does that mean? You need to figure out everything that is coming in the way of your progress, your limiting beliefs, and maybe you will need to peel the layers. You will need to peel the layers of the onion to figure out the root. What is the root of the reasons why life is not working for you? You may say, I uh, I don't do well in office, or I don't do well in groups. What is the basis of it? Maybe it is that I you somewhere you believe that I don't have it inside me, or no matter what I do, I will fail, or I don't have a great expression. These are all beliefs, by the way. I'm giving you examples from the real life of the people that I deal with, and these people are in their mid career. These people have had significant successes, significant failures, but they are at that point where these beliefs are hugely coming in the way of their progress, and that's where I work with them to help them snap out of it. So I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I will not be able to do anything, or I'm lazy. There's belief that you have built inside you. You need to figure out what is coming in the way of your forward movement and let it go. And that's where the word that fancy word we all talk about, confidence, it automatically comes in. I want you to think about it as arrows. So most of the time, think about, I want you to visualize some green arrows going towards the top right of where you are sitting. Top right, there are green arrows. You want to have great jobs. You want to have double salaries. You want to get euphoria in your career. You want to make career transitions. You want to step into executive leadership. So many things are there, and you keep worrying about it, or you keep, wanting to move towards it. But you don't realize that in addition to those green arrows, there are some red arrows which are pulling you down. And this finding and letting go is those red arrows. These are our shackles. Unless you get rid of the shackles, unless you unchain yourself, you will not be able to fly. So once you get rid of those shackles, get that confidence, then comes rewiring yourself to success, rewiring yourself for those green arrows that you see on the top right. And it all gets very easy. It is about having complete clarity of where you want to go. And um, let me take you back to my life. The reason i I don't know what I was doing in those 2 decades of my life. I remember even when my daughter was born, I went to office, came back, uh, at 5 o'clock. This was the last day of my pregnancy. And I came back at 5, went to the hospital. No, I came back at 5. I went home. I made rajma rice, put the clothes in the washing machine, and then went to the hospital. And at 9 o'clock, after an operation, a cesarean, I had my baby in hand. But I don't know what I was busy in all those years. I was just going and going with the flow of life. But you know what? Even the dead go with the flow. So I didn't have the clarity. Where do I want to um, really land at? What if you have that destination in your GPS? Life will become so cool. You won't get lost in the bylanes like I did. So having that clarity where you want to go and having the courage to get started on that path to that destination that you have chosen for yourself, and having complete certainty that no matter what happens, no matter what life brings, I am going to make it. Having the certainty about the uncertainty, that's how I call it. That's how it is, right? So I have actually put in the entire what I do with my clients. This just this much I do, and they get the results. What if you could implement it in your life? Rediscovering yourself, rewiring yourself. That's it. So I want to share another model which these people do to create results. Step one, we have talked about it, redefining yourself, which is about removing what all is coming in the way of your progress, getting your belief system right, finding out what are the limiting beliefs that are coming in the way of your progress. Once you identify, um, removing it, uprooting them from your life, and replacing it by powerful beliefs. A conscious, deliberate effort. Life has been enough on automatic mode. It has to come in a deliberate mode now, conscious mode. And then stepping into the 4 C's: confidence, courage, certainty, clarity. We talked about it. And the step number 2 is building your exponential reach, a network that you can leverage, but you need to build it before you leverage. So it is about identifying the right audience. Let's say you're looking for a job. Figure out who are the audiences that you need to connect with that can potentially help you or aid you in that job. Identify that those audience and connect with them and start adding value to them. We hold on to the knowledge as if we are the only ones who know, right? So knowledge is everywhere. If people don't get it from you, they'll get it from somewhere else. Why not share everything that you know? And if somebody can implement it, great, right? You will get all the good vibes from that person. So it is a matter of adding value, being a giver, and then developing your inner circle. So I follow this principle of 33%. 33% of my time I spend with the people who are ahead of me. These are the people to whom I pay to buy their time, to buy their experience, to learn from them, because I know they are much ahead of me. And 33% of my time I spend with the people who are exactly at the same place where I am, my peers, because that's my opportunity to contribute as well as learn from them. And then 33% of my time I spend with the people who are behind me, because you are always 2 or 3 steps ahead of somebody. And you just have to walk back those 2, 3 steps, hold their hand, and get to where you are. What if you could implement that rule of 33% in your life, right? It's not difficult. Again, you need to be a big giver. If you can learn the art of giving, and it's not a rocket science, it's just give with all your heart, don't hold back. You can step into anything that you want. You can be a senior program manager, you can be a VP, you can be a CXO, you can be an entrepreneur, you can get that job, you can get that promotion, whatever you are eyeing on. Implement this model and you'll get there. So I'll take you through a couple of case studies to tell you, to take you through what is possible. So, case study one is of a senior leader. He was a director in MX for 8 years. So he was a very, fast tracker, I would say. The reason I knew him because he worked with my husband 21 years back in a company in Delhi. So he was a director in MX, but after a certain stage, he stopped growing. 8 years he was stuck in the same position. No matter what he did, he just couldn't, get to the next level. And Obviously confidence had taken a big hit, courage had taken a big hit, he was feeling bored and all those things. And somewhere he believed that he just can't make it. It has become a part of life. He'll go to the office, he's getting a good money, and just, that's what life was. However, when he started getting rid of that limiting belief that he had allowed in his system to crop up and step into his new empowering beliefs, in 2.5 months, he got to that VP role. And not only that, he got the President's Award, which is given to 1 in 10,000 people in MX. And he got something called Edward Gilligan Award. I don't know what it means in MX. And he became the group enterprise leader for an area of technology that he always wanted, and he won that position against 47 existing VPs. A new VP getting it against 47 existing VPs. This is what is possible. You are stuck somewhere doesn't mean that you will forever be stuck. Yes, you need to do things differently. You have to go through that jolt so that you can snap out of it. Case study number two. So this woman, she was in finance, and she realized that she that the automation and technology, it was eating up the jobs in the finance department. And somewhere in her mind, she was a CPA into finance, and she realized that always she wanted to have a career in technology, but her education was in a totally different space. She came to me at that point. Again, it was in the middle of the COVID months, and she said that I want to transition my career to a completely different area. I don't know what. In discussions, it came out it she would love it to be in technology. She was always attracted towards it. Usually for career transitions, I say 6 months, but this lady, she was my rock star. In just 4 months, getting her belief system right, she was able to make a career transition from one land to another stranger land at 100% more salary. Amazing, isn't it? And then she got another job a couple of months back at 30% more salary. Again, I'm not saying this money just to wow you, but to tell you how much you're losing on, how much you're leaving at the table by sticking to the current beliefs that you have. And then the case study number three, this is about a person who was my colleague in Westpac, living a life of lack of power. So I don't know if you have seen those people who are always second guessing themselves, who have this fear, who are unable to take risks. He was sandwiched between his service manager and between his client manager, not able to take decisions, always working long hours. And after that, also, there were so many things which were, pushing him down. And he was from IIT, so pretty rock solid background. Education wise, he was fine. But when the reality of life stuck, he found himself in this powerless state after, I think, 1.5 decades of his career. And when I started my journey as a coach in 2019, after a few months, he pinged me and he said, Shilpa, this, it's like here. I want to get rid of it, and I just want to get into my best state. And this person, within 2.5 months, so he always wanted to get out of that company and get a new job. 4 years he has been trying, but in 2.5 months he was forklifted. I love to use this word for him. He was literally scooped up from LinkedIn at a job. It was 53% more salary than what he was making, and then again for another job to enabling him to make 113% more salary than what he was making. A side hustle now, because he knows the importance of creating his own economy and a powerful life with his partner. Amazing couple. And not only him, his brother in US, his wife's sister, and his sister's husband, they all have done the program. So we don't grow people. Like when our belief system gets right, we know what is possible and we spread the benefits of it to everyone. So this is what is possible. So now it's reflection time for you. It's reflection time. That is your current focus going to get you the results that you need? And have you really done everything that you can? And at the end of this session, we are about to finish this session in 2-3 minutes. But I wanted to really think about, have you done everything that you can? Or is there something that you have been thinking about doing and you have not actually brought yourself to take that action? I do not want you to get up from that chair where you are sitting listening to me today until you take that action. It may be a very small thing, it may be reaching out to somebody, it may be taking that first step, it may be registering for something, it may be buying a book, or whatever it is. Have you really done everything? If not, take that action. And if you take that action today, I know it will open up so many doors. I call it the third door. Doors that you don't even see, they will open up for you. So if you take that action, I'll consider that this session successful from my side. So what do you do then? Implement the project you. We talked about it, right? And between you and the implementation of the three hacks or the three secrets, between you and your abundant life, between you and your fast track career, know that there are three devils. You will not move if you keep waiting for the right time. There's no right time. The right time is now. If you think about crossing all the t's and the x's, when this happens, then I'll go and buy that book. When this happens, then I will register for a course. When this happens, then I'll reach out to this individual. That day will not come. So do it now. And if you are thinking beyond the you need to think beyond the constraints. I was about to end it, but let me take 2 minutes to tell you about what I mean by constraints. So when I jumped into my coaching business, it wasn't easy. Initially, it was a roller coaster ride, and I was reduced to a point where I had literally no money left in my bank. And my husband, he had started this journey few 10 months before me. With two dependent daughters, it was getting really difficult. We didn't know how to pay the next month's bill. And in that situation, when things became really tough and we didn't know what to do, first was coming and we didn't know how to pay the bills, we did three things in that. We did three things. See, the easiest thing again was for me to go back to job, or for him to go back to job. He was a director in Cognizant. I was also at a pretty good position with Westpac. It wasn't difficult for us to get the job, but we did the difficult thing. Difficult thing was to keep going, but then not be stuck in the constraints. We didn't have money, but we could raise money. We could get creative around it. So we did three things. One, took call the bank and ask for a hardship allowance, which means that they stop our mortgage for a few months, not couple. I think 6 months they stopped it. And the second thing that we did is took a big loan of money from our friends. We knew that we had to invest in ourselves. We had to invest in ourselves to become the person that we wanted to be. What we were at that point of time, what I was at that point of time, I couldn't have created the success what I'm creating now. The business that I've created, the results that I create for the people, I was not capable of that. So knew that I had to invest in myself. And the third thing, with our own hands, you can't see it, but where I'm sitting in front of, just behind this Mac, there's a wall. When it got really tough, we got up, and in the middle of our living room, we created this wall with our own hands. We had no money to pay for the labor. We did it with our own hands. And that, this side of the house where I'm sitting, we gave this on Airbnb, and that fed us grocery for the coming few months, until we went on and we made $500,000 in the very first year of our business. So if we had got caught up in our constraints of not having money, of being pushed down to the corner, of daughter being in year 12, both of us without job, all those constraints, we could have never made it to this side. So most of the time, we go till a certain point, and when things are not working, we give up. But it is a matter of going a little bit more, and that's where you get the success. It is believing that you will find that third door. So most of the times, it is not the mountains that we see in front of our, in front of us. It is a tiny pebble in our shoe. We need to identify it, and we need to pick it up and throw it out of our life. That's all that is required. So, yeah, that's it, folks. And I have put in my LinkedIn profile, the link to my LinkedIn profile. There's a QR code. You can just go to your phones, take a picture, go to your camera, take a picture. QR code will take you to my LinkedIn profile. And I would love to get connected with you. That's it. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Pleasure.
that very, very motivating and inspiring session. From what I could gauge from your presentation was just a few lines for your presentation I would like to say and sum up. The dive fathoms deep into the ocean to find treasures at the bottom, or skim water to fly away like seagull and find freedom in the sky. That's
Wonderful.
what I could understand from your presentation, ma'am, because you focused on, and I quote, on the believe, and I quote, that believe you can and you are halfway there. All you need is confidence. That is something you create when you believe in yourself. So, which is a point, your presentation was so relatable and so relevant in the present day times. The way you put up some very important areas about redefining yourself, identifying your goals, your limitations, and uprooting those limitations very cautiously, very confidently, building up confidence, clarity, courage, grit, and determination. In two words, you mean to say never quit. Do
Absolutely.
not quit. Right, ma'am? So I think this was a very, very inspiring session. You gave so many examples from your own life, and I think our viewers out there have taken up some wonderful points from your practical and very down to earth examples. You did not build up a story, you did not weave any magic, but all the magic was that was there was from your very own life, to which I think we all can relate to. So that was a very, very engaging, very interesting session. And you have again reiterated the belief that self belief is a person's belief in the ability to complete tasks and to achieve their goals, no matter how difficult your circumstances are. As you said, it is not the mountain there before you, it's the tiny pebble in the shoe that you need to pick up and throw it out. And then, the road is there. It's an endless journey. You yourself target your dreams, weave magic, dream high and touch the sky, no matter how many the encumbrances or problems there are. Nothing can stop you. You have to break free all the shackles and to prove your mettle. And God is surely there above to, help you realize your dreams. It is said that the universe conspires. If we are very true in our intentions and motives, the universe conspires to make your dreams turn true. And I think today's session proved that. Many people also believe that a strong that there are, you are born with self belief, and this suggests to some people that without self belief one can never develop one, and we are stuck living and having very low self esteem. But I think that's a very, very wrong concept. Self belief is something that can be developed and rebuilt if it is lost. No matter how low you're feeling, remember that you can regain it with the right steps in the right direction and the right time. As Shilpa ma'am just said, that I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it when something happens. It is not when, it is now. Now is the moment. We have only one life, the beautiful gift given by God, and we need to live it to the fullest to realize our dreams and reach where God has planned. God is there to show us, to guide us, to show us the way, but then there are no shortcuts to success. We need to work very hard, and there is no reason why we will lag behind. Ma'am, it'll be a pleasure if you can take one or two questions from my end.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What is your take on some people who lack in self belief? How can we help them to build that inner confidence, that inner strength to face the challenges on a day to day basis?
That's a very that's a very good question, Zoya. So, I first of all I want to say that we usually, I want you to imagine any movie, any Hollywood movie, any Bollywood movie. There's nothing that this something is happening and then some amazing thing happens and then there's a journey upward. It never happens, right? Journey, our life is ups and downs, and if it is not there, it will not be interesting. So it's not that if you do not have the self belief you can't develop it. Yes, definitely you can. You have to work on it. And as I said, it's a conscious effort of sitting, first taking a pause, you know, uh, and looking at what is it that I do that is coming in the way of my progress. What is it that I believe? Because whatever you create in life is the result of your belief system. If you believe that you will create this much is what you will believe. I believe that I could do just my 9 to 5 job, and that's what I kept doing for 2 decades. But when I worked on my belief and I said, no, I can do so much more, there's no limit, I will never face a brick wall no matter what constraints come in my life. I started getting past that. So it is a matter of sitting down, understanding, what do I believe? Do I believe I don't have enough to give to others? Or do I feel that I cannot contribute? And that comes in my way of adding value to the conversations at work, at home, with my friends. Do I feel I don't have a great communication? And then, okay, this is what it is. But from today, I decide that I step into my best expression. And it's not a matter of just doing that. Think about 2 3 things that you can do to snap out of it. Start, I would say, social media. Like, let's say, for example, expression. Social media is a great platform. We hear bad things about it, but you can leverage it in the right manner. So start putting out things there. Do just small quotes. First put a quote, then add 2 lines from your perspective, then add some real life experiences, like that. Keep developing your expression, and you will find yourself getting into the belief system that you consciously decided to step into. So this is what it is. And then when you walk the journey, then something else will come. It's not something that you've got it right. You have to constantly, it's not like you've gone to the gym once, you've got the 6 packs and you say, now I've got it, now I will eat chips.
Absolutely.
It's not. So it's a constant journey. You find another limiting belief, you know the process, again do it and keep moving.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful answer. And how true those words are, that, nothing is, achieved in a day or in a fraction of a second or in an hour or anything. You have to be a persistent worker towards your goal and conquer your limits and beliefs, connect to them with your confidence, your courage, and your goals. And once you achieve, just don't take credit for your achievements, but keep on moving uphill. Keep on moving uphill. Ma'am, what are the main causes of lack of some of self belief in some people? The main causes.
So it can be anything. It can be the environment in which you grew up. It can be the experiences that you that had in life. For example, I have people in my programs. Like, I'll give you 1 or 2 examples. They just can't trust anyone. That's their belief. And think about it, how much it impacts their relationship with the people. This world, this success, promotion, job, I mean, we haven't got into this mindset of a cause and effect relationship. I do well, I get promotion. No, behind every success, relationships play a big role, right? So if somebody believes that I just can't trust anyone, obviously success will not be easy for that person. And how did this belief come up? Because somewhere they had an experience with somebody where things didn't work well. They had a bad experience, and that formed the belief, okay, एक बार हो गया, अगली बार नहीं होगा. I will never trust anybody, right? And they did that. Next time they said, see, I saved myself. What if that person had taken advantage? And then they do it over and over again. It becomes a belief. So these belief system can be from the family environment, from the stories that our parents told us, from what you read in a book, in a comic. It can be part of your growing up, but it has become so much a part of you that you cannot identify that it is a foreign thing residing in you. And whole that's the whole process. You need to identify that foreign substance, understand it's not serving me well, I have to throw it out of my life.
Thank you, ma'am. Very, very valuable inputs we have all gathered. And I think our viewers must have benefited a lot. They have got some really very thought provoking takeaways from here, and where some of us, are lacking in our confidence, our strengths. I think today's session has helped us to gain back our confidence in more ways than one. If we have truly listened to your words, if we have focused on your presentation, I think you have ignited that spark in each one of us today to, see life from a different perspective, from another side, where we can say, oh, well, there's a rainbow and there's a lot to look ahead to. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, dear viewers. Have a good day. Stay blessed.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.